play deadline day deals Fellaini, Carrasco, Gueye on the move. 4:09, despite a rather quiet January transfer window, ESPN FC's Stevie Nicol assesses a few potential moves surrounding Marouane Fellaini, Yannick Carrasco and more. 4:09, the transfer window for Europe's biggest clubs closes on Thursday. Find out league-by-league deadlines here. Transfer talk has been scouring the world's media and setting correspondents loose to see who could be heading to or from your club. Click here for the latest deals and keep a track of who has joined the big boys. Top story: Arsenal wait on Nkunku, miss out on Perisic. Carrasco with help from former Tottenham and Liverpool director of football Damien Kamoli. We show you a step-by-step guide to a transfer. Can a 44-year-old man cut it in the Premier League? Our writer suffers, and suffers some more, through a medical at Everton. Arsenal can only sign players on loan, but the BBC report that they have missed out on a pair of wingers on deadline day, as Inter Milan would only sell Ivan Perisic on a permanent deal while Chinese club Dalian Yifang did not accept their loan fee for Yannick Carrasco. They have completed the signing of Barcelona midfielder Denis Suarez on loan until the end of the season, and a move for PSG's Christopher Nkunku is still on the cards but looks unlikely. Nkunku, 21, has played 15 times for PSG this season but isn't nailing down a first-team spot and wants to move on. Matt Spiro reports that the two clubs are worlds apart on valuation of buy option. PSG want significantly more than the €20 million offered by Gunners. The real question on Arsenal fans' lips is, where are the defenders? Okay, they've got a few injured, but surely strengthening the defense should be the #1 priority. Live blog 031 Greenwich Mean Time. That's it. Transfer talk live on this deadline day is over. Thanks very much for joining us, and even though we're still 6 months from the transfer window reopening, we'll be back before you know it with the latest gossip regarding who'll move where this summer. 024 Greenwich Mean Time. Done deal. Crystal Palace have finalized the loan capture of Chelsea forward Michy Batshuayi through the end of the season. Batsman returns to London. Welcome to the Palace, at Batshuayi oncoming fist. At CPFC, February 1, 2019. 023 Greenwich Mean Time. Done deal. Fulham have confirmed the signing of Lazar Markovic on a free transfer from Liverpool on a deal that runs through the end of the season. Welcome to. Wait for it. Liverpool's Lazar Markovic. 002 Greenwich Mean Time. While Sky Sports has reported that Youssouf Sabaly is the player Fulham have submitted a deal sheet to the Premier League for, the Sun's Neil Ashton has speculated to NBC Sports that the player could actually be Chelsea centre-back Gary Cahill. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, so it seems we won't be able to solve this mystery. 23.59 GMT. Done deal. Derby County have announced the signing of Andy King from Leicester City, with the midfielder joining the Championship side on loan for the remainder of the season. Welcome to. At Fluminense FC, January 31, 2019. 23.48 GMT. Done deal. American defenders Andrew Gutman and Manny Perez have signed 3.5-year contracts with Celtic. Read the full story. 23.43 GMT. Done deal. After spending the first half of the season on loan at Aston Villa, Yannick Bolasie will spend the second half of the term at Belgian side Anderlecht. Everton have announced that Yannick Bolasie has moved to RSG Anderlecht on loan until the end of the 2018-19 season into the Premier League, and have conducted a medical with Bordeaux right-back Youssouf Sabaly, a 25-year-old Senegal international. 23.32 GMT. Our Alison Bender is reporting that Fulham are attempting to finalize another deal. Could they be the second club with a deal sheet submitted to the Premier League? For those asking, yes, deals could still be getting done and not yet announced. I understand Fulham are trying to get another deal done, so it's not necessarily all over. Alison Bender, at Alabender TV, January 31, 2019. 23.27 GMT. BBC journalist David Ornstein is reporting that a deal sheet is with the Premier League for Michy Batshuayi loan to Crystal Palace, giving the South London club and Chelsea another 2 hours to complete that deal. Sky Sports is also reporting that the Premier League is in possession of a second deal sheet, so there is still another mystery move out there. As we get more on that, we'll bring it to you. Paperwork is in for Crystal Palace to sign Michy Batshuayi on loan from Chelsea for the rest of the season. Not a done deal yet. Official statement, Alan Halilovic, https://t.co/Majic AC Milan, AC Milan, January 31, 2019 23:03 GMT, done, deal. Celtic have signed Borussia Dortmund right back and Germany U21 international Jeremy Toljan on loan for the remainder of the season. This is an exciting move for me and I'm delighted to be joining a club like. I'll be doing everything I can to help the team to be successful in the remainder of this season. We kid, of course. We'll be here for another hour, bringing you all the deals that pass through the fax machines in the Windows dying moments. 22.50 GMT, done deal. Fulham have confirmed the capture of defensive midfielder, centre-back Havard Nordtveit on a 6-month loan from Hoffenheim. Welcome to Read the full story. 22.26 GMT, Sporting Kansas City are working to bring in often injured Arsenal midfielder and former U.S. Youth international Gideon Zelalem, according to the Washington Post's Stephen Goff, who adds that no deal is imminent. Getting word from two separate places that Sporting Kansas City might end up acquiring Arsenal's Gideon Zelalem, the U.S. youth international whose career has been stalled by injuries. Awaiting more info. The Parisians are said to have offered. Still time for either club to change their mind before this one is truly dead and buried. 22.02 GMT, here we go. Cavusel Heckle of Sky Sports is reporting that Crystal Palace have agreed personal terms with Michy Batshuayi. There have been conflicting reports in the past few minutes over whether this is a loan deal or a permanent transfer, but it's looking as though this will be a loan. Batshuayi is in Valencia, where his loan there has been terminated, and his end of the paperwork will go through Spain. Less than an hour now to get the deal completed. Chelsea striker Michy Batshuayi has agreed terms with Crystal Palace. Deal not done yet. Cavusel Heckle, at Sky Cava, January 31, 2019 22.00 GMT. We're just an hour away from the close of the January transfer window, ladies and gentlemen. Let's enjoy this final 60 minutes together, before we all panic over whether or not the faxes have gone through in time. 21.49 GMT. Our Jonathan Johnson is relaying news out of France, where it's being reported that Paris Saint-Germain have killed the deal to bring in Luciano Acosta from DC United. The 24-year-old Argentine left the MLS side's pre-season training camp and flew to the French capital last night to undergo a medical today, but it seems his big money move is over. It seems as if DC United's Luciano Acosta to PSG has broken down, despite the player having traveled from the USA to France. https://t.co/nj9q correct 24, Jonathan Johnson, at John Le Gossip, January 31, 2019 21.36 GMT. According to reporting from Sky Sports Deadline Day programming, Paris Saint-Germain have increased their offer for Idrissa Gueye to €30 million, though the added cash has done little to change minds at Everton, who maintain their midfielder is not for sale. 21.25 GMT. Done deal. Former Portland Timbers captain Liam Ridgewell has signed with Championship side Hull City on a contract through the end of the season. Memo: Hull City are delighted to confirm the signing of free agent Liam Ridgewell. Read the full story. Breaking news. Jean-Claire Todibo, at Jake Todibo, to join at FC Barcelona now. He'll be presented on Friday. More details right finger. https://t.co/btmx5 Crua, FC Barcelona, at FC Barcelona, January 31, 2019 21.01 GMT. Michy Batshuayi is trying to persuade Chelsea to let him join Tottenham on loan until the end of the season, sources have told ESPN FC. Chelsea have no interest in helping their bitter London rivals, but will consider permanent offers matching their £35 million valuation of the Belgium international. 20.48 GMT. Having sold Victor Vasquez and Sebastian Giovinco, Toronto FC are in need of some playmaking and finishing, and U.S. Journalist Yves Gallersepp is reporting that the 2017 MLS Cup champions have identified Spartak Moscow's Sofiane Henny, an Algerian international. 20.37 GMT. The Washington Post is reporting that the deal that would see DC United playmaker Luciano Acosta join Paris Saint-Germain is complicated, and may not get done before this evening's deadline. 20.24 GMT. Arsenal have had enough of Mesut Ozil and are ready to cash in on the playmaker, according to The Sun, but the report states that rather than scramble to find a suitable destination for the 30-year-old, amid reported interest from PSG, the Gunners will instead wait to sell him this summer. 20.13 GMT. Done deal. Leicester City and Monaco have wrapped up their swap deal that sees Portugal international Adrian Silva leave the King Power for the Principality, with 21-year-old prized prospect Youri Tielemans moving in the opposite direction, both on loans until the end of the season. Pic.twitter.com/Schulmfe3D, Leicester City, at LCFC, January 31, 2019. Pen Portugal La Monaco Esteru Dan Wanser Lorive do Milieu de Terrain Português de Leicester Adrian Silva, and Pret du Squala Fan de la Saison, page facing upright arrow https://t.co/obil5m00. The 22-year-old has made 3 first-team starts for Man United at this stage of his career and recently returned from spending the first half of the season on loan in his native Portugal with Vitória Setúbal. 19.50 GMT. Boyan, remember him? Well, West Brom reportedly want the former Barcelona phenom and current Stoke man. Bad news for Baggies fans though, as Stoke-on-Trent Live report that Stoke have turned down a bid for the well-travelled Spaniard. Recently linked with a move to Major League Soccer in the United States, it will interested to see where Boyan ends up, as the 28-year-old is not playing much at the moment with the Potters. 19.40 GMT. Done deals. Brighton have completed a pair of signings on deadline day. First, the club announced they signed Romania international defensive midfielder Tudor Christian Beluta from Viitorul Constanța. Shortly after, the Gulls unveiled Slovenian striker Jan Malakar, a 20-year-old Slovenian who has had a big season at Maribor. For more on the two players, click here. Beluta. Malakar. 19.30 GMT. Done deal. It looks like come on Wilfred Boney, score some goals for Swansea, will have to be retired. Swansea have loaned out the Ivorian striker and fan favourite to Qatari side Al Arabi, likely bringing his time at the club to an end. Now 30, Boney bagged 34 goals in 70 games during his first spell at the Liberty Stadium, becoming a cult figure and earning a shock move to Manchester City. Boney returned to Swansea to a hero's welcome in 2017, but injuries, namely an ACL tear, and age have limited his effectiveness. 19.20 GMT. Aston Villa to make a late shock move. The Sun, via the Birmingham Mail, indicates that Villa have joined the race for Swansea attacker Leroy Fer. The 29-year-old Dutchman had looked set for a move to Lille in France, but the report claims Villa have swooped in and topped Lille's offer. Just 4 points out of the championship playoff places, Dean Smith is desperate to get a few late signings through the door at Villa Park. 19.06 GMT. Done deal. With Peter Crouch headed to Burnley, Burnley's Sam Vokes heads to Stoke on a 3.5-year deal. Vokes, 29, had just 3 goals this campaign for the Clarets but had 20 goals in 2013-14 and 15 in 2015-16 while playing in the Championship. Speaking to the club's website, Stoke manager Nathan Jones said, "Sam is a player of real pedigree. He has been promoted from this level and he's an experienced international and Premier League player. To get it done is something totally different to anything we have and we think he's a marquee player for this level." 19.00 GMT. Done deal. The deals are flying in at the moment as Burnley have officially announced the signing of Peter Crouch from Stoke. The just-turned 38-year-old has scored 108 goals in the English top flight and remains a weapon due to his height and ability to get on the end of crosses. Announcing Robot Facek Peter Crouch. Pic.twitter.com/Ascoric Burnley FC, at Burnley Official, January 31, 2019. Also, bonus points to Burnley on their player unveil tweet, as they pay homage to Crouch's infamous robot celebration. Well done Clarets, 18.50 GMT, done deal, and one of football's giants have joined the deadline day party. Barcelona have come out of nowhere to announce they have signed Brazilian youngster Emerson from Atlético Mineiro. Breaking news: agreement with Atlético Mineiro for Emerson transfer. He'll join FC Barcelona on the 1st of July 2019. All the details right finger https://t.co/q-mep9npic.twitter.com/xjjog9ejnv. FC Barcelona at FC Barcelona, January 31, 2019. The right-back will cost Barcelona €12 million and he will join the club in the summer, after spending the second half of the season with La Liga's Real Betis on loan. Barcelona struck gold last year in signing Arthur from Gremio and will hope to have unearthed another diamond in the form of Emerson. 18.43 GMT, done deal. Brendan Rodgers said he expected a few more signings for Celtic, and here is the first one on deadline day. The Glasgow-based club have inked Marian Shved on a 4.5-year contract from Ukrainian side Karpaty Lviv. The 21-year-old is the first Ukrainian to ever sign for Celtic, and he will rejoin Karpaty Lviv for the remainder of their season, which concludes in April. 18.32 GMT, done deal. Another English youngster is heading to Germany. Arsenal's Emil Smith-Rowe is heading to RB Leipzig on loan through the end of the season. We are delighted to announce the loan signing of Emil Smith-Rowe. The 18-year-old joins us on loan until the end of the season from Arsenal, and will wear the number 18 shirt. Welcome to Leipzig, Emil. Red circle, white circle. January 31, 2019. The 18-year-old has impressed in limited opportunities this season with Arsenal, bagging 3 goals over 6 games in the Europa League and Carabao Cup. Smith-Rowe joins Jadon Sancho, Reece Oxford and fellow Arsenal man Reece Nelson as English youngsters currently in Germany, and joins a Leipzig side that has a track record of providing playing opportunities to youngsters. 18.25 GMT, according to a report in the Birmingham Mail, West Brom are confident of securing a loan move for Fulham and Norway midfielder Stefan Johansson. The 28-year-old Johansson has played sparingly since the arrival of Claudio Ranieri and would seem to be a player Fulham would be willing to let go of. 18.14 GMT, done deal. We mentioned earlier in the blog that this move was close, but now it is official. West Ham youngster Reece Oxford is headed to Augsburg on loan for the remainder of the season. Welcome to Augsburg, at Reece Oxford _ The central defender joins on a half-year-long loan from West Ham United. An England under-20 international, Oxford previously spent time in Germany on loan with Borussia Mönchengladbach in 2017 and then again in 2018. 17.55 GMT, staying with the Canadian theme. That must be a transfer talk first. The Vancouver Whitecaps have signed South Korea international Wang In-bom. The 22-year-old becomes Vancouver's 10th acquisition of the season and joins the Caps as a young designated player. Wang has 12 caps for South Korea and played a key role in South Korea winning the gold medal at the 2018 Asian Games last September. 17.45 GMT, done deal. There's a Liverpool youngster headed to Scotland, but he will not be joining up with former Red Steven Gerrard and Rangers. Liam Miller, the Reds' top academy scorer last season with 19 goals, has signed a new long-term contract with the Merseyside club and will be immediately loaned out to Kilmarnock. The 19-year-old is a full Canada international, having appeared 4 times for the nation of his birth. 17.37 GMT, done deal. Frankfurt have been busy today. The German club snagged Martin Hinteregger on loan earlier in the day and now have announced they have signed defender Almami Touré from Monaco on a 4.5-year contract. The Adler look to be really beefing up their defense with their eyes on grabbing a surprise Champions League place while the exodus at Monaco continues. Cardiff will be disappointed here, as rumour had it they were keen on adding the Mali-born defender. 17.26 GMT, it looks as if Leicester are close to getting their man. Highly touted Belgian youngster Yuri Tielemans has been spotted at the King Power Stadium, ahead of a rumoured move to the club from Monaco. Here he is. We've just filmed Yuri Tielemans as he left the King Power Stadium. That loan deal looks close. More to come on at Sky Sports News. The Brazilian was a key player in Wolves' promotion campaign of 2017-18 with 12 goals but has seen his playing time decrease with the arrival of Raul Jimenez, and has scored just once in 9 appearances this season. Nottingham Forest, recently taken over by Martin O'Neill, are still in position to fight for playoff position, and Bonatini has proven he can score goals at the championship level. 17.11 GMT, done deal. Just weeks after heavy speculation that Scott Brown was set for a move to Australia in the A-League, the Celtic captain has re-upped with the Hoops on a 2-year extension. A beloved player on the green side of Glasgow, Brown has been with Celtic since 2007 and has won 8 league titles, 4 Scottish Cups, and 5 League Cups with the boys. 17.06 GMT, done deal. Cardiff have made a signing, the Welsh club announcing they have signed 27-year-old midfielder Leandro Bacuna from Reading on a 3.5-year deal. Bacuna, best known for his time with Aston Villa, will cost Cardiff £3 million according to Sky Sports News. Cardiff might not be done either, as the club are still expected to bring in a striker before the deadline ends. 16.57 GMT, done deal. MLS continues to be the center of the transfer window. Who would have guessed that? LAFC have announced they have signed El Salvador star Rodolfo Fido Zelaya from Alianza. Zelaya, now 30, was embroiled in a match-fixing scandal back in 2013, but is the second all-time leading scorer for El Salvador with 21 goals in 45 matches. 16.46 GMT, done deal. The American takeover of the Bundesliga continues, Bayern Munich have inked their second American youngster in the last week, the 6-time reigning Bundesliga champions signing Taylor Booth from Real Salt Lake's academy. The 17-year-old central midfielder signs on a 3.5-year deal and will join Chris Richards with Bayern's under-19s. "I'm very happy with this next step in my career," said Booth. FC Bayern is one of the largest clubs in the world. Being here in Munich at the FC Bayern campus and taking the next steps in my development makes me very proud. 16.35 GMT, staying in London. Sources tell ESPN FC's Chelsea correspondent Liam Twomey that despite being on the fringes of Maurizio Sarri's first-team plans, Davide Zappacosta will be staying at Chelsea until at least the end of the season. Italian side Lazio were interested but could not find a workable framework for a loan deal with an option or obligation to buy. 16.24 GMT, done deal. Fulham have loaned forward Abubakar Kamara to Turkish Super League side Yeni Malatyaspor for the rest of the season. Efkar Yeni Malatyaspor Musa Hoskeldin at Abu Kamara 47, flexed biceps, and subsequently missing on New Year's Day, later getting into a separate altercation with Mitrovic at training and then causing harm to a staff member in yet another physical altercation. Seems like this move is best for all involved. 16.10 GMT, sources have told ESPN FC that Willian is training with the Chelsea squad as normal despite reports of deadline day interest from Paris Saint-Germain. The Brazil international has said he sees his immediate future at Stamford Bridge, and there is nothing to suggest the Blues would consider selling him this late in the window. 16.05 GMT, Sky Sports reports that Everton winger Yannick Bolasie is in talks with Belgian side Anderlecht and could soon complete a move. 16.00 GMT, Liverpool are in talks with Extremadura about sending Pedro Chirivella on loan to the Spanish second division side until the end of the season, sources have told ESPN FC. 15.55 GMT, Everton defender Cuco Martina will be recalled from his loan at Championship side Stoke after falling out of the first-team picture and will make another loan move to Feyenoord immediately after that, according to the Liverpool Echo. 15.45 GMT, former Watford midfielder Mario Suarez is set to join Rayo Vallecano until the end of the season after ending his contract with Guizhou Hongfeng Jicheng, sources have told ESPN FC. 15.35 GMT, done deal. League One strugglers Monaco have brought in Spurs winger Georges Kevin Nkunku on loan for the remainder of the season. Monaco at Nkunku has joined at as _Monaco on loan until the end of the season. Best of luck, GK. Pic.twitter.com/x6wajokska, Tottenham Hotspur, at Spurs official, January 31, 2019, 15.15 GMT. Eliakim Mangala will see out the final 6 months of his Manchester City contract, after there was no serious interest in the defender during the transfer deadline day, sources have told ESPN FC.15.00 GMT. Let's face it, Fulham could do with a bit more defensive strength, and perhaps Cameroon centre-half, defensive midfielder Michael Naju is the man to provide it. Reports say the Slavia Prague player is in negotiations over a move to London, while Fulham have also been linked with Hoffenheim defensive midfielder Havard Nordtveit. 14.50 GMT. Done deal. Newcastle United have confirmed the signing of Atlanta United forward Miguel Almiron for a record amount. Almiron, 24, has signed for around £20 million, $26 million, in a move that surpasses the £16 million Newcastle paid for Michael Owen in 2005. The signing is also the highest amount for a major league club in history. We are delighted to announce the signing of forward Miguel Almiron from Atlanta. The 24-year-old has penned a 5.5-year deal which will keep him at St. James's Park until June 2024. Full story, https://t.co/5nxxnx. He is a player we know well and I have worked with him at Sevilla, Emery said. He brings us quality and options in different attacking positions, so he'll be able to help the team. 14.25 GMT. Done deal. Aston Villa have signed defender Tyrone Mings on loan from Bournemouth for the remainder of the season. Full story as we make our third signing of the January transfer window. https://t.co/60wa71ld2q. Hinteregger was made an outcast at his old club after not holding back his opinion on the club's recent form and development under coach Manuel Baum. "I can absolutely not say anything positive," he said about his old coach as he closed the door on his time at Augsburg following a 2-0 defeat to Gladbach at the weekend. 13.58 GMT. DC United's Luciano Acosta is Paris Saint-Germain bound, a source has confirmed to ESPN FC, after coach Thomas Tuchel demanded attacking reinforcement to cover Neymar's absence. Brazil international Neymar is ruled out for over 2 months with a second injury to the fifth metatarsal in his right foot in as many years. According to the source, utilizing good relations with recent signing Leandro Paredes agent Matthias Sabag, PSG have quickly been able to agree the move in principle with the Major League Soccer side with an offer of less than €10 million, and meet the player's personal terms as well. 13.50 GMT. Manchester City have completed the signing of Hajduk split midfielder Ante Palaversa for around £5.5 million. Croatia under-19 captain Palaversa will return to Hajduk for the rest of the season on loan as part of the deal. 13.45 GMT. Arsenal winger Emil Smith-Rowe is pictured on his way to a medical at RB Leipzig, who are reported to be confident that they will get a loan deal over the line before the 5 p.m. deadline in Germany. 13.35 GMT. Manchester United forward Anthony Martial, linked with a move away from the club earlier in the season, has signed a new 5-year contract that will keep him at Old Trafford until 2024. 13.30 GMT. Watford midfielder Abdoulaye Doucouré had been reported to be a potential deadline day signing for Chelsea, but sources have told ESPN FC he will not be leaving the Hornets before the summer. 13.20 GMT. Nice forward Alan Saint-Maximin agent has said AC Milan have left a bid for the 21-year-old too late for them to be able to wrap up the deal in this window. 13.15 GMT. Done deal. It's been a good week for Newcastle. First they beat Manchester City, and now they have added to their squad by signing defender Antonio Barreca for the rest of the season on loan from Monaco, with a summer option to buy. Newcastle United are pleased to confirm that defender Antonio Barreca has joined the club on loan for the rest of the season, with an option to buy, from @as_Monaco. Full story, https://t.co/li3bjbnews. Caretaker manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is happy with the squad and, despite the impending departure of Marouane Fellaini, with his options in midfield. 2.30 GMT, the Manchester Evening News reports that Manchester United defender Ashley Young is close to agreeing a new one-year deal at Old Trafford. 2.25 GMT, Schalke have approached Tottenham about the possibility of signing Vincent Janssen on loan, sources have told ESPN FC. Spurs had been hoping to sell the Dutch striker for around £15 million, but with time running out until Thursday's deadline, player and club may have to settle for a temporary move. 2.15 GMT, Bournemouth defender Tyrone Mings will join Championship side Aston Villa until the end of the season, with a clause in the agreement that enables them to meet any rival offers for a full-time switch in the summer, the Mirror reports. 12:05 GMT, done deal, Arsenal have confirmed the signing of Barcelona midfielder Denis Suarez on loan until the end of the season, and will have an option to make the deal permanent in the summer. Finally, the notification you've all been waiting for. Winking face welcome to Arsenal, at Denis Suarez 6 waving hand. Chelsea have agreed terms with West Ham and Real Betis over loan deal and have now left the decision up to the striker himself. The Guardian reckon he might be waiting for a late bid from Everton, but the clock is ticking. 11.57 GMT, Real Betis president Angel Haro has told Onda Cero's El Transistor, "We have an option, €25 million, on PSG loanee, Giovanni Lo Celso, and we will exercise it. That is absolutely certain." 11.48 GMT, sources have told ESPN FC that the likelihood of Diego Costa leaving Atletico Madrid for China in the coming weeks has been lessened with Johnny's permanent move to Wolves. Atletico's loan signing of another centre-forward in Alvaro Morata had seen them in danger of breaking La Liga's strict budget rules. However, that should not be an issue now, with Wolves paying a reported €20 million to sign Spain international defender Johnny, plus the loan exit of Gelson Martins to Monaco earlier this month. Spanish media reports late last year claimed that Costa, 30, was the subject of a €65 million bid from an unnamed club ahead of the start of the 2019 Chinese Super League season. Sources close to the player have told ESPN FC that there was nothing for now in the speculation. 11.42 GMT, Sardar, Iranian Messi, Osman was being linked with a move from Rubin Kazan to Wolves. But Sky report that deal is no more. Reporter Rob Dorsett tweeted, "Sardar Osman deal too." Rubin Kazan and Wolves agreed £1.75 million loan fee and £11.5 million transfer fee. But Kazan wanted as an obligation to buy in the summer. Wolves will only agree to option to buy players still in Russia, so Wolves had no chance to do full medical. 11.32 GMT, the Ornstein Arsenal Express is back. And he's got more bad news for the Gunners faithful. Ivan Perisic won't be arriving. He has tweeted, "Perisic to Arsenal off. Nkunku efforts ongoing but now very unlikely." Smith Rowe. Juventus are interested but United haven't had an acceptable offer, and even though Darmian wants to head back to Italy, it looks like he will stay until the summer. Sources close to Timothy Fosu-Mensah's camp are also saying the Dutchman will probably stay on loan at Fulham. He's not in Claudio Ranieri's plans, but without another acceptable offer on the table, it's most likely that he will stay where he is. 11.19 GMT, done deal. Nico Yannick, once of Arsenal, has joined Chinese Super League side Beijing Guoan from Brentford. 10.58 GMT, Gael Kakuta, remember him, is in France as Amiens moved to bring him back to the club from Rayo Vallecano. Kakuta impressed with the League One side last season, and helped them avoid the drop in their maiden top-flight campaign. Hopefully he doesn't cause them as many transfer problems as he did Chelsea. 10.45 GMT, Manchester United are set to make a deadline day move. But it's for a 16-year-old called Hannibal Mejbri from Monaco. RMC report that the club have been in talks with the France U16 midfielder for a while. 10.39 GMT. In young English players moving to Germany news, which seems to be a daily dose these days. Sources have told ESPN FC that Arsenal forward Eddie Nketiah is set to join Bundesliga side Augsburg on loan. 10.34 GMT. Peter Crouch is coming back to the Premier League at the tender age of 38. Jen Percy of the Daily Telegraph reports Crouch is on his way for a medical at Sam Vokes to Stoke is also close to completion for around £7 million. 10.27 GMT. David Ornstein has spoken. But it's not good news for Arsenal fans. He tweets, Carrasco to Arsenal off. Player part fine but loan fee offer far too low to suggest recent interest was as serious as it seemed early Jan. Better offer from another club, reportedly AC Milan. Other clubs including Barcelona are monitoring his situation. 10.11 GMT. Done deal. Pele has joined Nottingham Forest. Okay, not that Pele. Judilson Mamadou Tunkara Gomes has signed on loan from Monaco. Not quite sure why he's called Pele though. 10.06 GMT. Done deal. Here he's Johnny. Wolves have signed Johnny Otto for a reported club record of £18 million. The Spaniard has agreed a permanent deal at Molino until 2023, having spent the first half of the season on loan from Atletico Madrid. Hard to believe when he name-checked Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, Manchester City, PSG and Bayern Munich, but okay. 9:54 Greenwich Mean Time. Paris Saint-Germain are considering a €5.5 million offer from Bordeaux for highly promising midfielder Yassine Adli, L'Équipe reports. The 18-year-old recently signed a contract through to 2021, and had been expected to make the step up into the first team, but has yet to do so. PSG would obtain 40% of any future sale of the teenager, the paper claims, while Arsenal will be a bit annoyed given he snubbed a move to London to stay in Paris this summer. 9:48 Greenwich Mean Time. Sevilla have turned down an offer from Corinthians for their left-back Guilherme Arena. The 21-year-old, who joined Sevilla from Corinthians a year ago, has made 8 league appearances for the Andalusian club this season. We knew it was going to be a difficult negotiation because he is a young player in Europe, Corinthians football director Duilio Montero Alves told Lance. Corinthians made a high offer, but the deal will only be done if Sevilla reconsider our offer. 9:41 Greenwich Mean Time. Marouane Fellaini is expected to complete his move to Shandong Luneng, but confirmation doesn't necessarily have to be today because the Chinese Super League deadline is not until February. Sources said that United will receive a fee in the region of €12 million and the Belgian is set to sign a 3-year deal worth around €14 million a year after tax. Airplane departure China. Marouane Fellaini is off. Fullback Jeremy Toljan could also be a late exit for Dortmund. Surplus to requirements. The former Germany U21 international has been linked with a move to Celtic. 9:27 Greenwich Mean Time. Wilmar Barrios tells ESPN he hopes to return to Boca Juniors in the future after completing his move to Zenit. Not perhaps the best way to start life at a new club. 9:14 Greenwich Mean Time. Poland youngster David Kaunacki, 21, is set to sign for Fortuna Düsseldorf from Sampdoria. An initial loan could be followed by a permanent deal worth around €5 million, say kicker. 9:07 Greenwich Mean Time. Jordi Alba has denied media reports that he has agreed a new contract with Barcelona. The Spain international has been locked in talks with Barca over a new deal with his current contract expiring in June 2020. President Josep Maria Bartomeu said on Monday that the club would offer the player a 5-year contract. Moreover, Cadena SR reported on Wednesday that the experienced left-back had agreed to extend his contract until June 2024, but the player, speaking after Barca's 6-1 win over Sevilla in Thursday's Copa del Rey return leg, said as reported in Diario AS regarding the contract extension, there hasn't been any change. They even said that I had renewed my contract, but it's not true what is being reported. 8:57 Greenwich Mean Time. PSG could be busy today. As well as the Willian gossip above, the Washington Post report that DC United's Luciano Acosta has left the club's training camp and could be set to join the club, or a Premier League club, with an €8.5 million offer mentioned. While Goal France report that Ajax left-back Mitchell Bakker underwent a medical at Clairefontaine on Wednesday ahead of signing a 5-year contract, 8:46 Greenwich Mean Time, with time running out for Valencia to reach a deal to acquire West Ham striker Javier Chicharito Hernandez. Los are looking at alternatives to strengthen their attack and found it in Ruben Sobrino. Valencia are on the verge of signing the Deportivo Alavés striker on a permanent transfer for around €6 million, according to local reports. The Spaniard will undergo a medical today in Valencia with a view to signing a contract until June 2022. The 26-year-old, a youth product of Real Madrid, has scored 3 goals in 20 league appearances, 10 as a starter. 8:34 Greenwich Mean Time. Sorry Arsenal fans, Ivan Perisic is likely to stay with Inter Milan after being misled by reported interest from the Gunners. According to his coach Luciano Spalletti, Ivan had the personality to say something which would have seemed right to him at the time. Probably he was a bit misled, Spalletti said at a news conference in which he confirmed that the Croatian is the only player in his squad to have requested a transfer. He had difficulty making up his mind because something was put to him which was just as big as staying here, and it led him into temptation, and these are things that happen. But already today, he was much different to yesterday. 8:23 Greenwich Mean Time. La Liga president Javier Tebas has expressed his desire for Paris Saint-Germain stars Kylian Mbappé and Neymar to play in La Liga and has hinted that Real Madrid could make a top summer signing. Real Madrid paid a reported €15 million to acquire Manchester City's Brahim Diaz, their only reinforcement in the winter transfer window. Mbappé and Neymar have been linked with Real Madrid in recent seasons. I hope Kylian Mbappé and Neymar can play in La Liga, Tebas told Europa Press. There are 2 players that can only go to big clubs, and it could be that there is one that is keeping the money and can bring a top star. I think something important can happen this summer. 8:15 Greenwich Mean Time. La Voz de Galicia report that Celta Vigo striker Maxi Gomez has decided not to leave the struggling club in this transfer window. The Uruguay international has been strongly linked with West Ham, with the Premier League side reportedly willing to pay his €50 million release clause to acquire him. But the Galician newspaper claimed that West Ham will have to wait until the summer, with the 22-year-old determined to stay and help Celta retain their La Liga status. 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. Good morning and welcome to Transfer Deadline Day TM. There will be deals, there will be rumors, and hopefully a helicopter or 2. You can find out the latest deals here. Paper talk by Frank Smith. Football whispers. PSG turn to Willian to fill Neymar void. French champions Paris Saint-Germain are in need of an attacker after Neymar was ruled out for more than 2 months, and the Daily Mail claims they have submitted a deadline day bid for Chelsea forward Willian. The reported offer comes after Mesut Özil was said to have turned down a potential loan switch to the League One champions despite finding himself out of favour at Arsenal. Willian has been a mainstay in the Chelsea side under Maurizio Sarri, and it seems highly unlikely that the bid would be accepted. The 30-year-old Brazilian has 18 months left on his contract and has attracted the attention of Barcelona and Chinese club Dalian Yifang. Real Madrid consider £100 million Rashford bid. It will almost certainly not happen in this window, but fans will be surprised to learn that Real Madrid are considering a £100 million bid for Manchester United striker Marcus Rashford, The Sun reports. The England and United star has been reluctant to sign a new contract as of yet, with his existing deal running until 2020 and the club having the option of extending it by a further year. The Red Devils are ready to increase his £60,000 a week wage up to around the £200,000 mark, but the 21-year-old is still keen to hold off. This has alerted the attention of La Liga giant, and The Sun claim the reigning Champions League holders have already been in contact with Rashford's representatives. AC Milan haven't given up on Arsenal. Target's agent may have come out and stated he will not be leaving in January, but Tuttosport insist AC Milan are still keen to sign Arsenal transfer target Yannick Carrasco in this window. Carrasco joined Chinese side Dalian Yifang in the summer from Atletico Madrid.